I was able to go from $0 to $60,000 in my stock portfolio in just under 3 years. I don't make a fortune, and I also don't live off rice and beans, and you can do it too. I just wanted to go over some of the tools and strategies that I've been implementing in my own life to grow my stock portfolio and manage it on my own. I won't be discussing what I'm personally invested in. If you're curious to know about that, if that's something you're interested in hearing about, let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to make a video on that in the future. So, hi, I'm Andrew. What's up? My real investment journey began 3 years ago. Before that, I was like gambling on crypto and stock options. Like in college, I lost like $8,000 in a like a Web3 DeFi crypto. I like to say it was the least expensive lesson I've ever learned, because if I had the amount of money that I have now and I still didn't have the lessons that I had learned, I would probably lose a lot of that or more on the same, crappy opportunity. Yeah, stock options, gambling, crypto, no real goals. Making consistent gains at that point in my life felt impossible. And in college, I know a guy that literally made $1.5 million off Dogecoin. So that kind of blew my mind, and that really got me like hyper fixated on these opportunities that we have at our disposal. Warren Buffett had Coca-Cola when he was 13 years old. We have Bitcoin, and we have other opportunities that in hindsight we will regret not investing into, right? When I started really investing, I had to completely shift my mentality. I went from gambling and trying to make quick money to slow investing, consistent contributions, that type of thing. And so in consequence, from shifting my mindset, I had to shift my actions. I know some people are going to be asking to see the money, because why would I be talking about the money if I don't have it? Here's my account just for proof and clarification. I have $62,225.07 in there. And we made $926 today. It was a good day today, 1.5%. You don't see those very often, but we love to see them when we do. Just got to roll with the punches. If it was down 1.5%, I'm not selling anything, right? Those are just things you learn after buying stocks for a bunch of time, right? Okay, the number one rule when it comes to investing is having more income than expenses. If you don't have more income than expenses, how do you expect to invest consistently? Think about that for a second. If you can allow yourself the opportunity to have more income than expenses, without living on rice and beans, obviously, right? I watched a lot of Dave Ramsey. That's where I get that phrase from, rice and beans. How you doing? Better than I deserve, right? You don't need to live off rice and beans. You just need to set up an actual budget, eat good food, don't go out to eat, stop spending money on crap that you don't need. It's that simple. Set up a budget, live off less than you make, and then that affords you the opportunity to make consistent investments over time, right? So, how did I get my income to where it is today? Well, shocker, I got a job. Yeah, a job, a job. I went on Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn. I got the LinkedIn Pro subscription or whatever it is when I graduated college for a couple months trying to find jobs, hustling, right? You have to forge the opportunities if you want to make them happen for yourself. I was calling people, going on Instagram, finding production studios that I wanted to work at. Like, you have to make it happen for yourself. Think about it. Everyone can use ChatGPT. Everyone can optimize their resume using AI. Everyone can make your LinkedIn photo look better using AI. Everyone can do everything leveraging AI. What you can't do is the real stuff. You can't cold call. You can't show up in person to a job opportunity and be relentlessly persistent. Relentless persistence is often rewarded if you come from the right reasons and have the good intentions, right? If you're obviously out to get somebody, or if you're obviously out for your own personal gain and not looking to add value anywhere, people can see right through that. Sorry about my little job rant. I didn't do dropshipping though. I didn't do SMMA. I didn't sell courses. I didn't do crypto gambling. I did, but I wasn't successful, right? I got my job and I invested and I made it consistent, right? I work in marketing full time. So I'm a cameraman. I literally do this stuff. I like working with cameras. I have a bunch of camera equipment right there. And it was in my bread and butter to start looking for other video opportunities. So outside of my job, I started filming rap music videos in downtown Houston. I know, weird, right? Rap music is something that I've been personally interested in since I was literally in high school, listening to like, Young Lean and like Lil Xan and, all the people that we would listen to back in the day if you were around in my time, right? And so I wanted to find more work, and so I started DMing people that I knew, DMing people that shot music videos down there. I started working on music videos for free. And through that, I met people, I got relationships, and then people knew that I'm talented and I'm adding value. And so eventually I got my own clients and I started making my own outside income. That was my real money maker. That got me to invest sometimes double what I was investing through my real job because I already knew what I was making. I already knew what I was spending every month. I didn't increase my spending amount based on how much money I was making from music videos outside of my job because, like, A, I knew I had taxes to pay for that, so I always would put money away for taxes. And B, I could reinvest that in the business. I could invest that in my own stock portfolio. I can do whatever with that, right? Why would I go buy nice shoes or something that I don't really need, right? I have everything that I need. Personally, a side hustle has helped me a lot. And if you can find something like that that aligns with your skill set, go find something and make it happen for yourself, you know? It's not going to come knocking on your doorstep, promise you that much. So, before you can realistically even get started into investing, you need to get your ducks in a row first. You can't have your house looking like a mess and then go try to tell someone else to clean up their house, right? Before I invested, I was watching a lot of Dave Ramsey. I had a lot of personal finance YouTube, whole lot of that, right? So I was very affluent with a lot of the stuff, a lot of the common practices that people use, like emergency funds, stuff like that. So for me personally, I had a 6-month emergency fund. I had no debt at the time. I have debt now. I had to get a car. I got in a car accident, and I got a nicer car. I got a 2023 Ford Bronco Sport, and I have a $12,000 loan. Whoop-de-doo. My payment's $250 a month. Nothing crazy, nothing special. It's $250 a month. I get by on it. I'll plan on paying it off in like a year or so when my credit gets built up higher because of that, right? Before you can get invested, I would have an emergency fund. Make sure you have little to no debt. If you do have consumer debt, the high consumer debt, take care of it. People say anything above 7%, go tackle that. Not everyone's situation's like mine. You might have more debt. You might have less debt. You might have more money in your portfolio, but you aren't like consistently investing and you wonder why you feel like you're gambling, right? Everyone comes from different sides of the aisle, right? If you don't have an emergency fund or your ducks in a row or a micromanaged budget and you know how much you're spending and how much you could even invest if you wanted to, don't invest. Get those things figured out first. It took me personally about a week, minus the debt part, right? But you could figure out what you're spending in about a week. Take notes, write it down. I literally had a journal. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Okay, I don't want to show all this stuff, but let's see. There was a point in my finances where everything was written out. I had everything written out, and it was my minimum monthly savings. And if I follow, here's my scenario, I'll have this much in my emergency fund, this much in my general savings, this much in my 401k. Everything was being planned. And if you write it down, it makes it easier. What I wanted to show you, look at this, guys. I wrote down every transaction that I spent for a month. And that was Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, Sonic, Shake Shack, gas, Chipotle, Sonic, Chick-fil-A, Amazon, Chick-fil-A, Panda, Sonic. You can realize pretty quickly, I was draining most of my money just on fast food, right? And car washes. I love having a clean car though. Now I have a car wash membership, so it's $30 a month. I can go whenever I want. That's something that I personally like. I don't mind spending $30 a month on that. I have a clean car all the time. My point is, you should be writing this stuff down. It's not hard to track your expenses. It's not hard to know. Most people have a hard time even opening their bank account because they feel guilty. It stresses them out. And that's not good. You should be one with your finances. Find that zen, right? Find that power and the control that you have in managing your own finances. Take pride in that, because then when it starts going well for you, you can say, I did that. I did that with nothing more than my actions, my contributions, and my willpower and my mindset. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is, and that's what's holding you back from building wealth. If you don't make enough money, obviously start making more money. Go find an opportunity to make yourself more money. I can't say that it's going to work for all scenarios, but if you're a single dude and you're in your young 20s, either college educated or high school educated or even welding, you can do this and you can grow it, and you can probably grow it faster than me. Some of you guys will be making way more money than me and can be investing way more, and you should be, frankly, because it'll serve yourself way later in the future. A couple things I want to go over before I wrap this up. Your investments are a snowball, and if you don't know what I mean by that, you start with a little snowball and you roll it down a hill. The surface area of that snowball picks up more snow, and then the snowball gets bigger. And then as it goes down that hill, it gets bigger and bigger. But not only does the snowball actually get bigger, but the amount of snow that the snowball is able to accumulate each time it revolves is way more and more. And that's what compound interest is. Every time you make an additional contribution and that pile gets bigger, and then it grows a little bit more, and then you add to it, and then it grows a little bit more. Before you know it, it's so big that you're hitting $1,000 days without lifting a finger. I would like to get to a point in my early 30s or mid to late 30s where I don't really have to work. And if I can do that, that'd be super cool. If I could choose what I wanted to do every day, that would be super cool. Compound interest can work in your favor, like in the snowball example, or it can work against you. If you're just saving money in a savings account and not investing it, and it's not a high yield savings account and you're just making 0.01% on your money, you're losing. Money's being printed every day. Inflation's eating away at the value of your dollars every single day. So having your money in investments can hedge against that. You've probably heard this before, but time in the market beats timing the market every single time. Unless you're, what's his name, Michael Burry? Michael Burry. That guy knows what he's talking about, I think. I watched The Big Short. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. But that guy knows what he's talking about. I don't. So I'm not going to make big bets, big arbitrary bets with little to no actual motivation or fundamental knowledge, right? So don't do that. Put your money in every month in places that you know it can grow. If you want to see a video where I talk about the indexes, individual stocks, mutual funds, all that stuff that I have my money invested in, let me know. I'd be happy to talk about it. Make some money, guys. You can do this. Get your emergency fund, start investing, set yourself to a goal. Try to invest a certain percentage of your income. The more you do earlier, the less you'll have to do later. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.